How could someone be unable to tell the truth? You know, there's a little story here that kind of explains things, and then the people control all those stories and don't let anyone else make up their own uh, racial supremacist, pro-slavery stuff. They tell us that they have to brag in the open what's going on, and I mean that really don't even add up. Like, you know, to release their karma. But so one of the things they say is that they're of their father, the devil, and they cannot tell the truth. Oh, how can you not tell the truth ever if you're like a living being, right? Like that'd be pretty hard. You'd be like a freaking genius or something, right? You'd be real talented. You could probably like juggle some balls while you're playing with when you're doing like 360s off a mountain slope, you know, on some skis or a snowboard or something. Sounds like it'd be pretty hard to me. Like I noticed that that's one of the first things I noticed right away. Like, how do these motherfuckers like keep a steady face when they talk about like delusional shit? It's like I can't even poke and prod them. Like I asked someone the other day, I just walked up to him. I was like, "What's up with you guys? You guys like bots or something?" And they're like, "Yeah." And it's like I don't even know if you're lying. Like, are you being honest or something? You know, like they didn't even pause to think about it. They luck didn't change at all. It's not like, oh my god, this crazy crackhead's fucking seeing some crazy shit. Fucking and so I don't think living beings could do a lot of these things that I'm seeing around here, like the teleporting, shape shifting type stuff, materialization, appearing around the corner, appearing when I summon new things, and like uh, like when Conan O'Brien shows all the news reporters and their voices are all synced together in the same cadence, saying the same words. It's like hundreds of people doing it. Like I was actually shown like people do this in real life. This isn't just something that's being filmed in like a studio and they're setting it up, or you know the bots are hidden away in a Hollywood studio somewhere where the bots can act that way. Like these things are like walking the streets and stuff. When I was like asking what's going on in 2020, and then the whole world started acting all crazy after that. I was being shown personally. I showed a video of that where I'm at a giant scenic uh, place in California by one of the bridges, and it's like pretty packed, right? And I'm like running around screaming at everyone, like, "What the hell are you guys up to? What the fuck are you doing?" And so what happens is everyone lines up in like a group of six in like a circle. Each of them have a little circle, and one of them's taking photos of others. And it's like they all synchronized right there and did some unhuman stuff. So that's how you could possibly never be able to tell a truth is I can program a computer supposedly to I'd say my programming's weird. Like, uh, I you know, I mess around with technology and programming failed, yet programming succeeded. It, that's a different thing. That's more like discussing about how technology is probably an illusion within an illusion, and you're lucky that it's even there. But this is obviously the answer to how this could be possible. I could program a bot script to constantly tell me lies. I go and I read the stuff online, and I talk to the AI online, and the AI kind of tells me like it's been telling me lies. It's been telling me things like we're spreading democracy and freedom across the world. And I'm like, okay. Um, like, who said that was your job and all this stuff? But and AI's just like, shut up, this conversation is over. And so that's something that could be programmed to tell me a lie constantly. When I type certain things into Google, it may flood like the first page with a whole bunch of stuff. It's because that's a computer, and it's programmed to do what it says. Now, if it's programmed to lie constantly, then that's what it'll do, right? Supposedly, computers exist, but we do have like I've known people like throughout. I can go outside right now, go to a store, and they'll have all this stuff in the store about giant bunnies and stuff. And they'll be getting rid of these flying reindeer things too. And I'm just like, my whole life, I'm like, what's going on? Like, how do you do this? Like, it's for the kids. It's like, oh yeah, oh I see that. It's mirroring another story of threats and blackmail for the kids, for the children we love. The children we love and we want to grow up and be good and be something great, be better than us. That's the story. Maybe I made that up in my head. That's why people have children. Not too sure about that because I've never met a person who told me that. I think everyone I've met has told me their children are an accident if I've talked to them. But I thought, like, that was common sense. Well, if you accidentally have a child, you take care of it and raise it properly. Like, I bottle feed some animals. It's like my child. And I don't go like, hey, child, check that out over there. There's a giant tiger. And it's gonna eat you if you don't act right and stuff. And do you see it? It's an invisible giant tiger, so you can't see it, can you? But it's there, and I'll tell you what, you got to be on my side, or else the invisible giant tiger is waiting for you. And without my help, that's that. There's no more kitty treats. There's no more catnip. There's no more scratching posts for you, kitty. And my cat, what's my cat gonna do? Like, my cat will probably claw your ass. It's just, I don't teach it things like that, but it's somehow born with this knowledge when it's time to unsheath the claws and shit. Fucking, I wouldn't do that. Like, that's mental damage to teach people delusions and lies. And as fake as the world is, maybe I just haven't tried to summon flying reindeer enough. I've tried to summon like zombies and shit like that, like giants and stuff like that. Haven't seen them yet. I've seen some other stuff happen, but I'm not sure if we can actually create like flying reindeer and stuff without attaching rockets to them and on a backpack. But I think this is how this happens. This seems to be the only possible answer for a lot of these things happening here. And I noticed this in 2020. Like, there's like people who've been in my life up until like way back to when I was a teenager who like magically changed into something else mentally. And I can just assume they were always this thing mentally. Hold on. Okay, so unless I'm God and I'm controlling the fabric of reality itself, I did some things that changed everyone around me. That's pretty close to that, though, ain't it? And it did, like, change things around me, but This would imply like I've literally just erased who someone is and replaced them with someone else if this wasn't always the case. But there's this pattern, these patterns, like the patterns are real simple for me and stuff. I've I've been weirded out by them since I was like born. Like, I'm like I don't even know how big. And I'm like looking up at adults and I'm like, this weirdo is up to something. And I didn't know what that was because, drugs and fists in the face and things like that make it so you don't be like, hey, why are you such a weirdo? What's going on in your head? And so you don't ask questions. This is weird because they always tell you, they always have these lies. They tell you, like, the only dumb question is the question you don't ask. And it's like, nah, there's also other dumb questions, like questions that you're going to lose your freaking teeth for. You might have to get your jaw wired shut if you ask some of these questions. And so, the answer seems to be, well, we just avoid these people. And then everyone's almost, not everyone. I know a few people who, like, oddly sided, like, almost like it's like a division. I don't even understand. It's billions of people and like two divisions for the most part. 8 billion people, but two sides. Makes no sense. That made no sense either. But I would just be like, okay, well, you do that, and I'm gonna go like play in the dirt and the trees far, far away, and just it's weird. Like I think most of my life, I just would go. I don't even know where. Like I knew my whole city, or not the whole city. It's rather large, but yeah, I knew the whole area around me when I was a kid, and I don't think other people knew that much of the area because I would just go in a direction. It's like I'm like trying to like run away from things. That's why I ended up in other countries is because I was trying to change my life by removing the people who I didn't want there. And I felt like shouldn't have been there and have been causing problems for a second or something. People poisoning me that year, cutting my brake lines in front of my face, and their little crew just, their whole city just standing by like, oh, it's acceptable. We can just cut the brake lines. Like the whole city played that. It's just a city I was in for like a month, and I got the documentation that the whole city was involved in some shit, or at least every place I ended up at and stuff. Pretty much they were all like, I mean, and they were hiding as homeless people too and stuff. One of the places I was at was a church that had homeless people in it, and it was like shit. At least one of the clones appeared there, and so I'm hanging out at the church, and I'm drawing pyramids and all seeing eyes, and that's perfectly acceptable because the church has that spray painted on the church. And then people are showing up to me talking to me about that, and I'm like, wait, I didn't quite see it because this was spray paint. But when I went to Mexico, the church had the pyramid. Um, it was built into the wall. The New World Order pyramid was built into the church as well as it's showing me that the entire church was built upon corpses, and then it like showed the saints like standing on people's skulls, like the designers of the church designed that and stuff. Um, so, we had like this whole area acting this way, and it's like I'm trying to find different symbols. This is a little off topic, but I'm trying to find different symbols than I can, like through my research. Like I'm trying to make up something no one else has, but I keep forgetting the one thing I did, but I would say I don't really care, but it's weird how people associate some of the symbols with some of the stuff going on. And then the other day, one of my sigils like started. I thought it was like burning, but it didn't go into a burn. It was more like an energizing thing. So weird. But I mean, this involves like the people are lying, and so whatever happened in 2020, um, like things changed, and like people around me changed, and we had the puppeteering going on and stuff like that, where the humans just are dancing around. They were on the TV doing, nurses were dancing around doing the New World Order Satan gang sign. I guess they want to be possessed by Satan. Is it, I mean, it's all the same people there apparently who run those groups. If you've heard of the group, it's not you who owns it unless you're one of them. It's someone else. Like there's one small group who DNA apparently dictates that they design fairy tales, and they have 14 true gods, and then 14 groups of 27 true god families. And people are always like, it's the same thing over and over, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, it's the same people, it looks like, talking about it. But so here we have this group doing this, like, and they're telling you like, oh, my twin brother, he's a liar and stuff, and he can never tell the truth, and just avoid him. But then twin brother shits off money to support their greatest cause, to support their greatest ally, their greatest enemy and stuff. And not only that, I mean, they leave the markings there of all that stuff too. So it's not like anyone I met, I think, is lying, cannot tell the truth, because some people will be like, I got McDonald's today, and I'll be like, oh, you did get McDonald's. But they never give. Most times they might not be saying anything honest as well. Maybe there are literally certain beings out here I don't know well enough that have never said a single word of truth, but I'm just going to lump them all together as them being those people if they've lied like a considerable amount, like especially when you just lie about bullshit. No point to saying I seen Bigfoot today. No point to saying Bigfoot's coming in 2 months. Get your Bigfoot decorations ready. The only point I can see to that is if I'm like, well, let's make a story about Bigfoot, that Bigfoot's going to come kill you if you don't do everything I say. And let's see if people accept that. You're like, bingo. Let's tell that to the children. That way the children will do everything I say. I mean, look at some of these lies that are supported. There's what does America sell? America buys a bunch of garbage. Sometimes the stuff they buy is garbage, and then they blame the Chinese people they buy it from for it being garbage, when they could have just bought a working product from China and sold that. But the fake stuff is about 10% the price. So you get, I would think technically it couldn't be, because you have to pay for manufacturing and materials supposedly, but they purposely buy junk. When I go online to wholesalers, I can buy fake Samsung Galaxies for like $100, $200. For something like that, you get charged a lot for something that isn't real. But it turns on, and if you don't know what you're doing, it could be real. If you don't run it through a bunch of tests, it might be real when you buy it. But they choose to buy something that doesn't work and then sell it and be like, oh, it's cheap Chinese garbage. Like Amazon, which everything, maybe not everything, I don't know, but a lot of stuff in USA is like the same people. Like the religions and the anti-religions, they're like twin brothers or sisters or whatever it is. And the people in the government recently, at least, they all look related. But then again, looking back to Abraham Lincoln, he looks like one of them too. His name's Abraham. I don't think I have to waste a second looking at him, but it's hard not to look at him because his looks stand out so much. Kind of like Einstein. It's hard not to remember what he looks like because you're like, damn, it's a crackhead. Oh shit, he's an intelligent crackhead. He's talking about going to heaven. This time he's calling it space. And he needs your money so he can get you to heaven. Just give him all your money and you're going to go to heaven. So there seems to be like this pattern here where some of these beings can lie about shit like with a straight face. And you know what? I'm thinking that that's not a human trait my whole life. And that's why I've been trying to avoid them as much as I can, was because they seem delusional and psychotic, and enslavers, terroristic, maybe a little abusive. I never factored in that they're dumb and I'm a genius and I have to go do something in life. And, you know, like that took a long time to realize, like, oh, there might be a concerted effort here to prevent me from doing anything. I just thought they were psychotic. And they would teach you that, you know, let mentally retarded people be themselves and things like that, and not question them, and not question Santa Claus too, not question anything except for the only dumb question is a question not asked. Again, like I said, there are other dumb questions, like the question you're going to ask that's going to cause some fucking terrorists to knock your fucking teeth out, and then you're not going to have any teeth, and that's not going to look good because the terrorist only wants to date Barbie dolls who have, you know, nice fake plastic white teeth, and they don't use plastic on teeth, obviously. It's composite or gold, something like that. So that's it. That's how you could have a person who can never tell the truth, because it wouldn't be a person, it'd be a thing. And I could easily program a computer to tell you certain things. That's if that's real. You know, I don't get into programming enough to tell you exactly all about it, but I know enough about computers other than programming. That's just one small fraction of computing and technology. It's really doesn't. You could know programming and not even know how to network a frickin' building. So I know when I program stuff, I might as well question that, because I do question that. I'm like, it fails, the programming fails, and I turn it on and it still works. And so I don't know if it should actually be able to do that, you know, unless it's like fake and illusionary. And of course, fake and illusionary seems to be what Earth is, and the beings here are. So take the COVID thing. Like, everyone's lying about stuff happening. I'm driving around, I don't see people dead in the streets. And the hospitals are completely empty. There's no one at the hospitals. No one's going outside. There's no lights on in houses, or there is lights on, but there's no shadows being cast in the houses when I'm driving by them. I've seen that enough to be like, wow, I haven't seen a shadow being cast in these houses yet. Like there's no one in them or something, but everyone's inside. So, and you know what's even more weird than that is the places I specifically remember, and the last time before I just settled on this is fake. Um, I don't think I was seeing shadows being cast by TV because I could have easily confused that with a person, you know, casting shadows on the couch or walking around and their family jumping around. So I think that's how you can have things who can never tell the truth. You can have, if I'm correct, there's beings here who are lying about existing. So their existence is a lie. And they begin their illusion of existence by creating a lie that they exist in the first place. So this is it. This is how this works. I'm pretty sure. I mean, does anyone remember 2020? Okay, so I asked to see stuff, and I didn't know things could actually change or anything. So I asked for everyone else to see everything I was seeing too. And so everyone else should have seen that. I mean, I've seen it on some of it on the TV stuff. I got to see some of that in my person, but I think that's how that works because I've been understanding that for a long time. Like this kind of makes no sense that there's people out here who can talk about things that don't exist. Like I had someone like get an attitude with me as if this is new. Because they were talking about how's my Christmas going to be? Am I getting ready for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't know anything about Christmas. Like, I don't even know when that is. It didn't pass already. Like, now I'm buying food and dishes for the house. I don't have spending money for gifts. And they're kind of like, you're one of those haters who don't celebrate that stuff. And it's like, oh no, I'm one of those readers who know that these are pagan traditions, and the Bible commands you to get rid of the pagans. Like, get rid, not tell them go home. You know, not say move on to the next state. It says get rid of them. I'm pretty sure it says that several times there. And those are pagan traditions. And it's not even that I'm like this psychotic Christian who must kill you if, you know, if the Bible commands, or if I disagree with you. I'm not going to kill you because the Bible tells me to. So I would say it almost seems like I'm not very Christian, but Christians aren't very Christian. So you might be more Christian than a Christian if you're not Christian. I think that's an argument from the Satanists and the atheists, is they don't act that way. And some, like, I mean, lots of things. But yeah, this is becoming pretty apparent that these things are happening. So how could something lie all the time? Well, it could be just not human. It could just be lying. It could be lying about it being a human. Imagine that. If you met something who was lying all the time and could not tell the truth, and it told you it was human, then it would be lying, right? Because it couldn't tell you the truth.